New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you over here. My dear brother, Reverend LZ, is experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties, but he'll be with us, I believe, shortly. We're trusting and praying and knowing that he'll be with us here soon. Thanks for joining New Thought Media Network, and today it's Friday, 7 a.m. on the Mountain Time Zone, and that means it is time for Ministers Talking Chit. As the promo says, this is our opportunity to get together each week and, well, talk about whatever we want to talk about. So you're welcome to join the conversation. Leave a comment. Let us know you're out there. We're gonna hang out for a moment and settle in till we see if Reverend Elzia gets there. It's a very cold, snowy, and overcast day here in not very snowy, and not even actually very cold, just very overcast, I guess you could say. Good morning, Linda. Exactly, cloudy and cool. That's cloudy and cool, and the rain is thick and visible and white. So I have already been to the airport and back this morning. My dearly beloved is traveling over to Salt Lake City to visit with her sister and spend a quick weekend with her sister there. So I've been to the airport and back already, and it's just going to be one of those stay inside kind of days if you can here in Colorado. Fortunately, in some places of our country, it feels like it's a stay inside kind of day any day. And I'm thinking of the incidences that happened at Florida State University yesterday. Of course, our hearts and prayers and all of our thoughts go out to the families of those impacted, especially, We've covered so many shootings on this, so many mass shootings on this program in the last 5 years that this was the 80th, what they consider a mass shooting, which I think is 4 or more people injured. And this is the 4th mass, or 80th this year, already this year. I guess we're not at one a day. We can find some solace in that. At least we're not at one a day. But quite a bit is known about this experience at Florida State University. So again, all of our friends, anyone we might know or anyone that knows anyone there, please know all our prayers are there as well. And I found it. I saw a post yesterday. There are kids that are freshmen this year that are at Florida State, students at Florida State University that also were at the Marjorie Stoneman shooting school shooting when they were in high school. So double prayers there. I'm so grateful that I'm of an age where we didn't have this to this degree when I was growing up and where I was in the world. And so it's heavy day at Florida State. And here's our brother LZ. Z, perfect timing actually, because we were just talking. I was just talking. Whoop. Where'd you go? There we go. I was just sending out some prayers to the folks of Florida State, and regarding this latest shooting we've had here, and reflecting on that a little bit. I don't want to say that hits close to home for you, but that kind of does hit close to home for you.
Oh boy, yeah. I that whole thing down there, man, in Tallahassee was a mess. It wasn't too far. I mean, I know exactly where it took place. I have family members that are in the vicinity, that live in the vicinity, and you know, we're at a place now where this has to stop.
Yeah.
This I mean, at some point you would think that we would get to the realization that, hey, killing on campuses where we're trying, we're talking about rebuilding America and new manufacturing, this, that, and the other, but we are allowing our best and brightest to be under constant siege by not getting proper gun control of people who own them legally. I mean, this person's parent was a sheriff, had a gun that was not properly put away.
Yep. And you know how much we love to rush to judgment or any of it, but there is a point where this woman does need to be held to some account that you're a sheriff's deputy in that county, and so you did not properly. And I guess my understanding is it wasn't an active service revolver. I guess not her day-to-day gun, not her daily shooter. I don't know, but it was supposedly an inactive service weapon.
Right.
Is how I heard it described. That I'm with you. We have to find something. I was just saying that I saw a meme that there are kids at FSU that were also at the Marjorie Stoneham high school shooting, which was 7 years ago or so. So there's still
right
that to live through that twice, and to know that the people that are calling for responsible gun control are being vilified as the renegades, as the rebels, as the outsiders, those asking for just responsible control. But it was another good day for the Republicans on the Second Amendment.
And I am going to be exhausted by the time this presidential term is over. I mean, it's something new every day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. Exactly. We did have Maryland Senator did get a chance to meet with Brago Garcia. I don't know if you saw those pictures or not, but they whoops.
There we go.
There we go.
My internet. This, we got this winter weather, which is unreal. I mean, it was 77 yesterday, and now today is 29, 25. I mean, it's just my internet is like.
It'll catch up, I promise. So Abrego Garcia. I don't know how much you've been following this story. The Maryland senator was able to meet with Abrego. Looks like they put him in some civilian clothes and gave him a baseball hat. I have a feeling that they're going to end up using whatever baseball hat he's wearing. I get a feeling they're going to end up using that against him, because I didn't know this, but in Washington State, a Chicago Bulls baseball cap is a sign that you belong to MS-13. At least that's part of the evidence they're using against this man, Abrego Garcia, to keep him in an El Salvadorian prison camp that somehow I think the U.S. government illegally paid for, or someone in the U.S. government illegally authorized a wire transfer for $6 million to a wannabe dictator. Did I say wannabe? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I pray. I talk to my friends, my relatives. I try to do my part in action, but I want it to be clearly stated that we are at a point in history I don't think we've ever been before. I mean, I know the Heritage Fund has been looking at this Project 2025. That whole thing started back in the 70s. Look up the original Heritage people. But the ripple effect of all, like, I just was watching something this morning, last night, about all of the 2 billion or whatever it is they're taking away from Harvard, that is going to just decimate tuberculosis researches and other kind of medical researches that are being conducted there that we need, because those things, all these old diseases are coming back up. Measles, and the people who've been working years and decades to do this, we're decimating them, and that's going to lead to all the jobs. And then once they stop it, they won't be able to pick back up. So years of research and information will be lost.
Yeah. I think that in many ways, and I'm with you. I started to recognize, I've started to see commercials and advertisements for cancer research centers across the country that I never knew existed. And it struck me, it's because these centers are being proactive and they recognize their federal funding is going away, and they better start fundraising from through other avenues and other sources, because they're right. This is a research center in Massachusetts or something, I think, targeting Colorado. Holy moly, as far as for an advertising campaign. And it's unfortunate, because I think what I see is the current administration is using the flash and the bang of stories like Abrego Garcia, who truthfully might have been a part of a gang. We don't know. He may have been a part of a gang, but he was in the country legally. Yes, a police department in Washington State at one time labeled him as a member of MS-13. However, he's living in Maryland with no known associates to MS-13. We got to remember that sometimes people can leave their past behind, and sometimes do. And that's not over. They use that as the flash in the bang to put through the sneaky stuff that they don't really want us to know about. NPR is reporting as of yesterday that the Trump administration is scaling back the State Department's annual reports on international human rights. And what they're doing is they're removing, in some cases, long-standing critiques of other governments' human rights. Bless you. And critiquing and evaluating and judging other countries' human rights violations and such. This is scary. When we start
this is real scary.
When we start to rewrite what it means, what human rights mean, and what it means for a government to abuse or outright, it's just like Congress is going to have to step up.
And is the scary part? I'm sorry. Is that there's that song, excuse me, there's that song that goes, it's only just begun. I mean, that's the scary part. I mean, literally, I don't think we just over 3 months and a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so we're what, 10% down? 10% down?
Yeah. I know, and there have been a couple. I know at least one. I think I heard there was a couple of district attorneys, like the one in New York, who is bringing charges against some of the members of the current administration on insider trading, on all of this up and down, the signals and stuff that were given by him being the chief leader of when to sell and when to buy stocks during this debacle that he's done with the terrorists.
I did see another one this week. Martha Stewart's must be pretty pissed off.
What happened? I didn't see that one.
Well, she did time for insider trading. Trump, he didn't get
true.
Right. If I were Martha Stewart, I'd be a little pissed off because what happened last week with the market was a little more blatant than anything she did. and she was guilty of insider trading. So, it would appear so are many of our politicians in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Very, 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 I know. I mean, very problematic going forward when you look at this, because they're setting up systems that will allow them to stay in power, to continue to create havoc, and pretty soon it's going to get, well, I don't know if it's not pretty soon, if it's not already now, this whole thing of class, they're creating a permanent underclass, and they're going to get to feudal lords and that kind of crap if we're not careful.
Yeah. And I keep looking for the needle in the haystack, perhaps, that is the reminder there are those that will continue to obstruct and get in the way and stand in the way of this administration.
Oh, yeah.
They they do seem to keep coming for people, though. They came for. I didn't get a chance to fully read the article,
I mean,
but I saw.
I saw in the.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, did you see the one the other day where the wife? It was in Boston, I think, somewhere in that area, where the woman and her husband were in the car. They got pulled over. They stopped. They called the lawyer. The lawyer told him to just give him his card and just hold tight. They took like a pickaxe and busted the window out of the car and grabbed the guy and took him away. Then there was another one where they tackled some guy who was supposed to be an illegal, knocked down a senior citizen, and nobody attended to him.
ICE is out of control. ICE, and right, these are ICE violations. I saw the article you're talking about with the breaking the car window. I didn't get a chance to really look at it, and that's the one I was sort of looking for as you said it. Was that, all right, I watch my fair share of cop shows, and I watch my fair share of YouTube cop stuff, and right, and there should be no reason, if you have a car stopped, to break windows to get to a subject. Unless there's guns involved and yada yada. But if there's guns involved, you're not breaking the window. You've got your gun out. So this is, we need to get back to we need to feel confident that we have human rights. And when we start doing this, what you do to the lesser of me is what you do to me. I know I'm probably not saying that right. But
message received, though.
And I can't imagine what if I was at a traffic stop, and guilty or not, the cop on my wife's side of the car breaks the window and starts pulling her out of the car. We don't live in that type, and we do. We now do live in that type of a country, and I never thought I would have to imagine that. And truthfully, I know that this has happened to my brothers and sisters of color and other oppressed communities, but to this degree and in this ferocity and in this frequency right now, I never really believed we could get to this place, but we are here.
I mean, this is reminiscent of slavery. Just to be straight up honest, where they can come in and bust your door in and take you away, no due process, just under the suspicion of being out of order, if you will, that they can, and guilty until proven otherwise.
Right.
And that's a challenge.
I just, wow. I have a feeling someone somewhere right now is creating a new version of Pink Floyd's The Wall with modern day imagery. Because in some ways they that prophecy is coming to be.
Well, and here's a real interesting Hollywood play on reality. I don't know. There's a new movie out. I think it's on Amazon Prime called G20.
Oh yeah.
And the premise, I don't know if you heard of it, but the premise of it is that they're using deep fake. I won't give it away. There's this whole thing of deep fake and crypto and how people are trying to uh, rebalance the power of the globe in terms of monetary policies and so forth. It is eerie, scary when you think about, Trump and Melania both creating their own Doge coins or whatever the heck it's called. And I mean, moving to this crypto that has nothing backing it. There is no backing.
Yep.
If something was to happen to that crypto, I know there's a lot of money, shown to be involved, but if something was to happen, it is like vapor. It will evaporate.
Yeah. And Project 2025, they mark their reduced regulations on cryptocurrency as a completed objective at this point, because the DOJ has been instructed to back down on crypto investigations and such, and I did see that movie. I don't want to give it away either. It was
No,
it's a different kind of scary when you really watch it. It's not a gotcha kind of scary movie. It's kind of like, oh shit type of scary movie that and Angela Davis does a remarkable job.
Viola Davis.
Sorry. Does a remarkable job in this. If you like Viola Davis, you got to see it. And it is on Amazon Prime. So, but I think I'm in the middle of a Substack series, so I'm writing it. I'm not done with it. I think I'll be ready with it next week. And this is a big topic, Z, and I don't know that we have time to cover this one today, but I'm going to mention it anyway, that to some degree, I'm pretty angry right now. I'm angry, and I'm
many things to be angry about.
And I'm confused because I preach nonviolence. I believe in nonviolence. But as I also look at the state of the world, I'm kind of backing an arms deal with the Ukraine. And this is one I don't think some people understand. The Ukraine is no longer requesting aid from the United States. They are no longer saying, please help us in this war with Russia. They are saying, we have $50 billion and we'd like to buy some weapons, please.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we are the biggest arms dealer on the planet. I don't know that we would ever pass down a $50 billion arms deal. Trump does say he is, he's here to make deals. So the art of the deal, I'd have to stand with the concept of selling guns to the Ukraine. And that feels incredibly bass-backwards to me. that I'm sitting here and feeling like, well, yeah, that'd be a good idea right about now. I
mean, it's. I'm just flabbergasted. And and the thing that bothers me the most at this moment, it's been changing, and I had to go look it up about these universities, right? Because the universities, looking at the shooting, looking at the money being taken away, when you look at now, these are just the big schools where they are. The list is Harvard, Columbia. 2 billion from Harvard, 400 million from Columbia, a billion from Cornell, almost a billion from Northwestern. President Trump's alumni, the University of Pennsylvania, took about 200 million. Princeton, about 200 million, and Johns Hopkins about $1 billion. Right now, these are schools that have tremendous. There some people talk about the elitism and all that. Okay, yeah, we know that's there, but at the same time, they do tremendous work and tremendous research to help in all kinds of ways. Imagine what's happening to the smaller schools or the state university, or even worse, the local educational systems. So we're going to have people that are not informed. They're not going to have these ideas and understand about gun control and selling arms. And, the thing that's what made me think about it. But when you're not worried about where they live in, those other things seem so far away, it's like that doesn't affect me. But this does.
Yeah.
It's a mess. And I'm gonna say what I said last time. We gotta pray as if everything depends on God, and work as if everything depends on you.
You broke up a little bit there, so we missed most of that, but we'll let your computer catch up and come back into that.
So, yeah, I'll say that'd be my final call. I'll say it again.
Right on. I've made calls to each of my senators and representatives this week about selected issues. Yes. And it's, I feel a little, I do feel a little remorse sometimes that my senators and Congress people probably are starting to get to know my voice, because I try not to leave very long-winded messages, but I do leave messages each week. And I do try to be respectful when I leave a message on Lauren Boebert's machine. I have a tough time believing she listens to my messages until the end, but I have a tough time believing she's listening to anybody's phone messages from anybody in this state, but that's another story. It's 100 days, Z.
Well, on a light note, huh?
Yeah, go ahead. Take us on a lighter note.
Again? I was going to say on a lighter note, here in Colorado, well, it may not be that light, but people are looking forward to this time next week when they have the NFL draft in Green Bay.
Yep. I know that joke. The only people that pay attention to the draft are last year's losers.
I figured I'd just throw that out there.
Okay, so what do you think? Let's go there. Let's have a little fun. Is Shedeur gonna is he gonna get a team he wants? I mean, he's kind of said there's a number of places he doesn't want to go, and there's already a handful of teams that said no way we're taking him, and the clickbaiters love to speculate on what Daddy thinks about all of this. So where is Prime Junior going? Any ideas?
At one time I thought he was going to New York, and they got Russell, and then I thought he was going to Tennessee, and then they're saying they might go with Cam Ward. I do think he's of the quarterbacks. I think he's the most ready to go right in, and I'm not sure yet. I mean, because I know there's so much going on, behind the scenes and money and people and trading, and I'm going to be as flabbergasted as everybody else, I think.
I'm not a betting man, but I'll put my dollar on Las Vegas.
I think it would make sense. It would be a powerhouse going on down there.
And the weather's got to be a hell of a lot easier. And yeah. He's gonna go to Vegas, closer to home, closer to here to come see Dad. Dad'll enjoy going to Vegas more than Pittsburgh. I don't know anybody that's ever gone to Pittsburgh for fun. Pittsburgh folks, you can call me out. That's fine. I went to Pittsburgh once. It wasn't fun. Anyway, all right. So we've got the draft next week to look forward to. We've got springtime to look forward to. It may not be springtime for Hitler, but it is springtime for Trump, and we're going to see what happens. Elon's running out of time. They're going to run into that 130-day limit for Elon. He's already starting to lose his traction, as it were. All puns intended to you Super Beast fans out there. But he's losing his traction. Almost every administration goes through a shakeup somewhere around this 100-day mark. It is springtime, and we're going to see some changes in what happens. I think we're going to start seeing some fatigue. Right, Marjorie Taylor Greene's public town hall broke into chaos with people being tased and drug out of the room. Protesters were tased and forcefully removed from a town hall with Marjorie Taylor Greene because people are fed up with Republicans kowtowing, kissing ass, and just falling in line to daddy dictator there. So I think we're going to see some change. I think we're going to see more resistance. I don't know that we're going to see change we want to see, but I think we're going to see more resistance to what's going on.
Wow. Well, that I didn't see that thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene, but for those of us who are feeling a little bit inept with all of this political stuff going on, you were talking about next week. Here's something that we all can trip into. Next week, next Tuesday it is, I think, is Earth Day. A reminder of we need to take care of our home called Earth. We saw the Blue Origin flight go up, and there's so much controversy or criticism or whatever. I don't know if it's controversy, but definitely a lot of criticism with Katy Perry and Gail from CBS and whatever. But I'm sure each one of them, regardless to whatever when they saw this planet and that thin blue line of protection around this big old rock that's just floating in the air, I'm sure whether if it hit them fully or not now, I'm sure they're thinking inside saying, boy, we are we need to take care of this planet because we are not being good stewards of our home.
Yeah.
And all these to think that yesterday was 77 degrees in Colorado and today is 29 in snow, like a 40-degree drop with snow. That's not normal.
Right. And we can't just bury our head in the sand and defund everything and expect the solutions to just show up. We have to continue to invest in the research. So we might just be on hiatus for a few years. I don't know. We might just be on hiatus. All right, folks. Enough of all this. let's get into some good news.
Yeah.
That happens tonight at 5:00 Mountain Time. I'll be back with the good news. But of course, we have a full day of broadcasting here today. So many wonderful things happen on New Thought Media Network. And I've forgotten to tell you all, we have a brand new show that we're premiering today. That's right, today, later today, at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 4:00 Eastern, Divine Science Everywhere, with Reverend Joy Fletcher, Reverend Jeff Radcliffe, and Bishop Darrell Watkins. An hour-long program and discussion. It's going to be a great time. We really encourage you to come check that out. Of course, all of our normal programming, our morning programs. Rev Skip is here with the High Vibe Hour, and that's at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. I've lost my cheat sheet again. But stay with us. Also, Reverend Michael will be back with the Fireside Chat tonight at 6. Again, it's a full day here on the New Thought Media Network. Stay with us. And, hey, Z, here's the fun one. You should come on this sometime. Ask me anything. Normally, this is the last Friday of every month. However, this month I'm going to be at Unity Village next Friday, so I'm not going to be doing this program. We'll be presenting sharing their live gala broadcast. So we moved it up this month. Ask Me Anything, sponsored by the Center for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. Join us on YouTube, and I really do. I answer any question anybody asks. So it may not be the answer they want.
I like that.
But we answer every question that comes our way. So. All right. Thank you, folks, for joining us. We're going to slip out of here for now, get into that morning. Wish you a great and happy weekend. And until we see you again, wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.